So you're sitting on a business idea. Maybe it's a side hustle that's been growing, or maybe you finally hit that point where you're done putting your energy into someone else's dream. Either way, it's time to make it official. If you're living in Alabama, starting an LLC is one of the best ways to turn that dream into something real. And using LegalZoom makes the whole process a whole lot less intimidating. In this video, I'm going to walk you step by step through the exact process of starting an LLC in Alabama using LegalZoom. No fluff, no confusing legal jargon, just a clear, simple explanation of what to expect, what decisions you'll need to make, and how to make sure you're doing things the right way from the start. So let's dive in. What even is an LLC and why start one in Alabama? Let's start with the basics. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. It's a business structure that gives you protection. So if your business ever gets sued or falls into debt, your personal assets like your house, your car, your savings account aren't on the line. But that's not the only benefit. LLCs are also flexible when it comes to taxes. You can choose how you want to be taxed, like a sole proprietorship, partnership, or even an S corp, depending on what makes the most sense for your situation. It's also a credibility thing. Having an LLC makes you look more professional to customers, clients, investors, and even banks. It signals that you're serious about your business, not just testing the waters. So now let's talk Alabama. Starting an LLC in Alabama comes with some perks. No business license required at the state level, though local licenses may apply. No franchise tax. Reasonable filing fees, fast turnaround time compared to other states, and a pretty straightforward process if you use LegalZoom to guide you through it. So whether you're starting a lawn care business in Montgomery, selling handmade candles out of Huntsville, or launching a freelance creative agency in Birmingham, Alabama is a solid place to start your business. All right, so first things first, go ahead and click the link down in the description to get started with LegalZoom. All right, so once you're on this page, just click on the orange Start My Business button, and you'll be brought to this page here where you can go ahead and choose a plan. So LegalZoom offers you 3 different tiers of service here. There's the basic plan for $0. You just pay the state filing fees, the pro plan for $249, and the premium plan at $299. So the basic plan, this gets you your LLC filed with the state. You get a name check, your articles of organization filed, and that's about it. It's a good option if you're on a budget or you want to do some of the setup yourself. Now, the pro plan adds 2 things that you'll probably want, and that's an operating agreement and your EIN, which is an employer identification number. Now, both of these are super important. Your operating agreement lays out how your business is run and who owns what, and your EIN is like your business's social security number. You'll need it for taxes and to open a business bank account. Then the premium plan, this includes everything in the pro, plus you get attorney guidance. So you get 30-minute calls with a business lawyer, ability to make any changes to your documents in the first 30 days for free. So if you know you're going to have questions or you might need to make edits to your setup soon after filing, then the premium plan might be worth it. For this example, I'm going to go with the basic plan and click on Form My LLC, and I'll show you how you can get some of those documents later on. All right, next up, we need to pick a business name. So LegalZoom is going to ask you for your desired business name right off the bat. Now, this name has to be unique in Alabama. No 2 LLCs can have the same name on record with the Secretary of State. So here's what you need to know. Your name must include LLC or the Limited Liability Company, but you don't need to add it here because they will automatically do it for you thanks to LegalZoom. You can't use words like bank, insurance, or a corporation unless you meet additional requirements. And if your name is already taken, LegalZoom will let you know and prompt you to pick a new one. So if you're not ready to commit to a name, you can skip it now and decide later. For this example, I'll just pretend I'm opening up a coffee shop. So I'll type in Eric's Coffee Shop, click on next, and we'll go ahead and for the state, we'll go ahead and select the first one here, Alabama. And this one's simple, right? LegalZoom is just going to ask you where you want to form your LLC. So just make sure to select Alabama. Now, yes, you technically can form an LLC in another state like Delaware or Wyoming, but unless you have a very specific reason to do that, it's usually best to just form your LLC where you live and operate. So next, it's just going to ask you to fill out some basic contact information like your email address and your phone number. They use this to keep you updated about your LLC information, and they're not going to sell your information or spam you. They're just making sure that they can send you important updates and legal documents. So go ahead and fill that out and click next. Then it's going to ask you what your business does. So you can go ahead and I'm just going to type in coffee shop and select that. So you can go ahead and just type it in, and maybe you have a auto detailing or maybe you are a plumber. You just start typing in your business and it should come up. And don't stress too much here. This is mostly just for classification and back-end purposes. Just pick the option that's the closest match to what you do. And if you're unsure, you can just select general or other. Here we'll go ahead and click next, and then it's just going to encourage you to pick up some of their services here. So there's nothing to do here other than just click on next. And then this is where you can go ahead and select some more documents and stuff to add on to, remember we selected the basic plan for this example. So this is where you can go ahead and add some extras here. So you can just click on select plan, and then you can either choose the operating agreement for $99, the operating agreement plus the EIN for $159, or you can get the operating agreement, an EIN, and then forms and e-sign, which comes with a library of over 150 attorney drafted legal documents for $199. So I'll go ahead and select that for this example here, but go ahead and select the one that makes the most sense for you and click OK there. Then it's just going to ask you if you would like to separate your personal and business finances with a business bank account through Bank of America. So they have a promo going on here, and if you want to get started with Bank of America, you can. If you'd rather shop around and maybe choose a different bank, you don't need to select this right now. So we can just go ahead and click on no thanks. And then lastly, it's going to ask if you need 1-day expedited processing. If for some reason maybe you do, you can go ahead and select that for $99. For this example, go ahead and skip that and just choose the standard 5 to 14 day processing. And they also have a founder's kit. So this is basically just a pretty printed out version of all your documents in one place, where you can add that for $99. Or if you don't think you want or need that, you can go ahead and say no thanks and click on next. All right, compliance reminders and subscriptions. So LegalZoom may ask if you want help staying compliant with things like annual reports, business licenses, and tax deadlines. They offer a compliance subscription that reminds you or files for you the annual paperwork required to keep your LLC active. Alabama, for example, requires a business privilege tax return, an annual report that needs to be filed each year. Now, this part is totally optional, but it can save you a headache down the road. All right, lastly, final review and pay the state filing fees. So we're almost done here. LegalZoom will now walk you through a final review of all options that you chose. Once you confirm everything and it all looks good, you'll go ahead and head to the checkout page. Now, here's what you'll pay. You'll pay the LegalZoom service fee, depending on which package you pick. You'll pay the Alabama state filing fee, which is $206, and you can pay by credit card, and LegalZoom will take care of submitting everything to the Alabama Secretary of State. Now, if you selected expedited service, your LLC can be processed in as little as 1 to 2 business days. Otherwise, standard processing can take between 5 and 14 business days that we saw earlier. And after that, you're done. Now, what happens after you file? So once you submit everything, LegalZoom gets to work. You'll receive email updates along the way, and you can log in anytime to check your status. Here's what to expect next. You'll get your articles of organization. This is the official confirmation that your LLC has been formed in Alabama. If you got an EIN through LegalZoom, they'll send it to you in a separate email. Any legal documents, like your operating agreement if you got one, will be available in your LegalZoom account. And if you opted for registered agent service, LegalZoom will provide instructions on how they'll receive and forward any official mail. Opening a business bank account. Don't skip this part. Now, once your LLC is active and you got your EIN, it's time to open a business bank account. Mixing personal and business money is one of the most common mistakes that new business owners make. It can mess with your taxes and put your personal liability protection at risk. LegalZoom even partners with some banks, as we saw earlier with Bank of America, to help you get started. But you can go with any bank or credit union that you trust. Just make sure to bring your EIN, your articles of organization, and possibly your operating agreement, depending on the bank. Staying compliant in Alabama. To keep your LLC in good standing in Alabama, you'll need to take care of a few things each year. Business privilege tax return. This is due within 2.5 months of forming your LLC and annually after that. The minimum fee is $100. Annual reports, typically filed alongside your business privilege tax return. Local business licenses. Some cities and counties in Alabama require additional licenses. If you sign up for LegalZoom's compliance reminders, they'll let you know when these deadlines are coming up. Otherwise, set a few calendar reminders so that nothing slips through the cracks. All right, so let's quickly recap what we just covered. You're going to click the link in the description to get started with LegalZoom. Choose your package, whether it's the basic, pro, or premium. Pick your name and state, in this case, Alabama. Provide your contact info and business details. Choose a registered agent. Add on any extras like an operating agreement or EIN. Review and pay your filing fees. Get your documents and stay compliant. That's it. You've just formed an LLC in Alabama. So starting an LLC might sound like a big deal, and honestly, it kind of is. It's the moment where you stop treating your business like an idea and start treating it like something real. But here's the thing. You don't have to have it all figured out at once. LegalZoom walks you through everything step by step, and the most important thing is to just get started. Take it one screen, one question at a time. And if you want to get started with your LLC or holding company using LegalZoom, you'll find a link for it down in the description below. This is an affiliate link, which means we earn a small commission when you use it at no extra cost to you. And these commissions really help support the channel and allow us to continue to create free content just like this. So if you end up using it, we thank you so much in advance. Here on LLC Deals, we cover everything you need to know about forming, managing, and scaling your LLC, plus some smart tax strategies and business tips. So be sure to subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you here in the next video.